Hey, what's up, you guys? Your boy Big B's back with another one. And here's what we're going to talk about in today's episode. So in today's episode, this will be part 2 of struggles that anyone with some type of mental illness face in life. So yesterday I went over the workplace. That's really the main thing I went over, honestly. Today I'm going to go a little over the workplace more again. And one other thing I'm going to go over is love life for those type of people. And I'm also going to go over, what's the other one? Oh yeah, I'm going to go over just why we act the way we do at times. And why we feel the way we do. So first off, let's start with this. When you have a neurodivergent brain in your head, you have trouble grasping on how to do things, whether it's at school, at a job, or some activity you signed up for. You struggle learning. Well, it depends. Sometimes you can be a fast learner, but sometimes you struggle learning how to do it. Like if the instructor or your boss explains how to do something to you, you'll give it a try, but you won't do it the way you're supposed to do it. Like, you just can't understand what they mean when they explain how to do something. At least that's one struggle I face. Then another struggle I face is remembering how to do certain things, like maybe remembering where something goes, or just remembering how to do something certain. And, let's see here. And, they face struggles like that, and they just make a lot of mistakes or a lot of mishaps happen to them. Then people treat them badly, and that's why they get really angry. Just their whole life, ever since they were a kid, when they were learning how to do something, and they couldn't do it properly, the adults around them would get really mad at them, treat them like crap, and say hurtful stuff to them. And all their peers would do the same thing. All their peers would bully them for being different. And when anyone deals with that long enough in their life, eventually it's going to make them unhappy. It's going to cause them to be really angry, depressed, unhappy, and stuff like that. That's honestly why a lot of people commit suicide. And one thing I have to tell you if you're neurotypical is, I don't think you know how hard it is to be surrounded by... So first off, let's say this. The majority of the people in this world are neurotypical. So one thing I want to say is, you don't know how hard it is, whether you're in a class, whether you're at a job, or wherever. You don't know how hard it is to see everyone else around you doing fine, doing what they need to do without any problems, and you just are struggling. You're struggling so much. Everyone's getting mad at you and stuff. I don't think anyone who's neurotypical realizes how hard it is to deal with that all the time. So, one other thing I want to bring up is, I happen to drop stuff a lot. I really do believe that I drop things more than other people do. More than average, let's say that. And, ever since I was, like, 10, I'd get really mad when I dropped stuff. I'd start complaining, maybe I'd throw a temper tantrum. Stuff like that. At some point, one of my parents would ask me, "Brandon, why do you get so mad when you drop stuff?" And I'd say, "'Cause I do it more than everyone else." And he'd tell me, "Brandon, You do not drop anything more than anyone else does. You drop stuff just as much as other people do. In fact, you might do it less because you're so concerned about it. The difference is you don't know when other people drop stuff because they don't get mad about it, and you get mad about it. And I wasn't sure I believed him at first, but lately I've been thinking about it, and I've been thinking that the reason why I get so mad when I drop stuff is because I do it more than other people. Like, you know how if something certain happens to you, like some mishap or you make some mistake, maybe the first few times it happens, you just brush it off, you're like, oh, whatever. But if it gets to a point where it starts happening all the time, you start getting angry, you start getting irritated when it happens. I think that's the case for me when I drop stuff. It just started happening so and so much, and I start getting really angry when it happens. And there's so many others too. Maybe if I bang apart my body onto something. That's another thing that really angers me. So you see my point here? And then one other thing I wanted to bring up. You guys who have it good, you need to stop getting so mad at people who have it bad when their brain acts up. Let me give you an example. One time when I worked at this tree service company, one of the guys on the crew I was on, he was showing me where everything goes on the truck. And at some point I was putting something back in the truck, and I forgot where it goes. And I asked him, where's this go again? And he was like, I just told you where it goes. If this is how you act in a situation like that or anything similar, you need to stop. Because if that's how you are, you're the problem with the mental health crisis. You're the problem with all the people who commit suicide. And I tried doing some research, but I couldn't find any answers. But I honestly wouldn't be surprised if I do some research by the end of this year or beginning of next year, and it said that way more than 1 million people have committed suicide this year. Because that's what the average has been for a while, about 1 million. Anyway, you guys just gotta get a feel for those people who have it bad. You treat them badly because all you see is, like I've said, all you see is the trouble. But you don't know what the struggle feels like. We really do need some type of system to get you guys to know how they feel. And the last thing I'm gonna go over is love life. So oftentimes people who have a neurodivergent brain, they struggle to receive a lover. Just the problem with me is all the girls I've liked, they look at me, they look at my tics, or just maybe if I'm having a bad day, maybe if a bunch of things happen to me, like people picking on me, teachers treat me badly, and just a bunch of mishaps, then I blow up. The girls think that stuff's unattractive, and they don't want me because of it. They want a guy who's way up here. And with the way my brain works, it's pretty hard for me to get a girlfriend because of that. And this is a problem a lot of people with neurodivergent brains face. And it's pretty screwed up. I don't think you guys realize how hard it is to carry on when you have trouble getting a lover. And then sometimes people tell me stuff like, you cannot be loved unless you love yourself. And I don't like that mentality, honestly. And you know something I've noticed? I've noticed that a lot of people who say that, a lot of them are loved by a lot of people. A lot of them were the popular kid in high school. So it's pretty easy for them to love themselves, because when they're down, they know there's a lot of people supporting them and loving them. But me, when I'm down and there's no girl supporting me or loving me, it makes it even harder to carry on than someone who has a lot of people who like them. You see my point here? Like, I went through this really rough patch about 3 or 4 months ago. Yeah, it was probably about 4 months ago from now. I was really angry and depressed. And I had some pretty messed up stuff happen to me one night. And this one girl I liked, well, she didn't know about it, but she unfriended me because of the type of things I post on there. I'm trying to figure out how to say it. But I was really angry at the time. I was always making posts about how I was really angry of what people did to me and how they treated me. Then she'd rather walk out and leave me than to support me and be there for me. And it really is messed up. You see my point here? I'll probably make a video just talking about the love life. And I'll figure out a way to put in better words than I did in this video. But I think that'll wrap it up for today's video. I hope you like this content. If you did, please subscribe. And remember, if you have any questions for me, feel free to ask them in the comments. And I'll make a video trying to do my best to answer it. So, have a good one. Peace.